Have you ever felt like it's cheating to use pre-made 3D assets when you're working in 3D? Then you are not alone. I've seen this debate pop up regularly online, and in this video we're going to discuss if and when it's okay to use pre-made assets and what actual quantity of scratch is required to say that you've made something from scratch. Hello and welcome back to Take Refuge 3D with me, Peter. Now, for a real long time, I felt like if I didn't make everything from scratch, I was cutting corners and the artwork was somehow not my own, that I was just an imposter. Imposter syndrome's a very real thing for a lot of artists, including myself, but it can also affect other artists who actually have some amount of talent. It's a load of old bollocks to think this way, and you shouldn't believe anyone who tells you this. They're a troll. It took me a long time in my 3D journey to realize that using pre-made assets isn't cheating at all. Early on though, it was likely beneficial for me to have a mindset like this, as I have learned over the years to model and texture a lot of different things from scratch. And while you're in your early stages and just learning, there's definitely a benefit to doing everything in a project yourself. However, as you progress, you'll find there's very limited value in modeling and texturing yet another table for an out of focus background, or making a brick wall texture number 4242 in Substance Designer. Some people will tell you that a composition lacks in integrity if it wasn't wholly made by the artist. But for example, there are millions of talented photographers with billions of beautiful photographs of cities, nature scenes and beyond, and the photographers did not build every building. The photographers did not make the mountains or evaporate the oceans to form clouds. They simply used their artistic eye to compose their shot, and then they captured a moment in time and space. Likewise, the set of, for example, a TV show might need some kitchen appliances like a toaster or a coffee pot. They would simply buy these props to add to their scene and not make them from scratch. But they would hire a set designer and specialized carpenters to design and build unique and specific assets they needed for their projects. As a solo 3D artist, you are very much a digital photographer or a cinematographer. You are in charge of set design and set dressing. You are the carpenter, the lighting technician, and often the sound designer too. You create environments, you add lights, textures and props. You set up your cameras and you highlight and animate various elements to make your visions come to life. Then you add post-processing, sounds and music, and then you upload it online and get half a dozen thumbs up on social media before you move on to the next project. These visions take a lot of time and effort and artistic integrity as well. Now, if every time you were to have one of these visions, you were to think through all the steps that you would need to go through to make each one from scratch, you would probably discard the majority of any ideas that you had, as each scene may take weeks or months or even years to create. Whereas if you used pre-made assets that you can drag and drop into place, you could complete a complex scene in hours or days. Even if you want to eventually model and texture everything in your scene yourself, you could still use these assets to help you visualize and compose a draft and get your composition how you need it, so you don't end up modeling and texturing every single screw that will never be visible in your shot. This will save you time, as well as allow you to spend your time adding the details where they're needed and leaving them out where they are not. I have fallen into this trap many times and abandoned countless projects because of it. Nowadays, I like to use online asset libraries like Sketchfab and BlenderKit. These offer free and paid options, and I also add any models and materials I've made or bought to my own private library using the Blender the Blender asset library, which is very simple and handy to use. So if I need a table, I can just check my own library to see what I've made or what I've saved in there. And if nothing fits, I'll go online and I'll use BlenderKit or Sketchfab. On screen you can see a video I made for a previous tutorial, and I was showing off the shisha pipe that I had made. The table and carpet you can see were downloaded free from Sketchfab, and the background is an HDRI that I also did not make. If I had had to do these things myself, it would have added extra time to the project, time that I don't have to make this render possible. These assets are not the focus of the scene, and they're simply there to complement the main focus, which is the shisha pipe. I think this is an appropriate way to use background assets. I'm not claiming that I made these background assets. I am claiming I made the shisha pipe, and I'm quite proud of it. I'm not claiming that I made these assets, but the whole artwork, the composition, that's mine. I put them together. While I definitely feel it's beneficial to make a lot of things yourself, it isn't cheating to use free or paid props. Just make sure that you're entitled to use these props for commercial purpose if that's what you're doing. The website will generally tell you what kind of license it is, and then if you need to credit the author or not. You can check out some models that I've made for sale on Sketchfab and BlenderKit below, and some of them are even free. BlenderKit has a free and a paid version, which is a subscription model. And if you plan on subscribing, you can use the affiliate link below to get a 10% discount and help this channel out, as it'll give me a small cut. If you got something out of today's video, give the like button a smash and let me know what you think about this. What camp are you on? Do you think that you should make everything yourself, or is using asset libraries fine? Thanks a lot, everybody. See you next time.